Okay, hello and good day to everyone. That is who tuning in at another episode here at the Sphere Rock and Podcast Network. Right now, as part of the series, we're going to be interviewing one of our hard VAs. His name now is Aaron, as you can see, and he is the video editor for Jeff Cohen. Nice to have you here, Aaron. How are you doing today? And what is your favorite food to eat during work?
Hello. Good evening or good morning. I am Aaron Minumeda. I work as a VA. So, sorry, what is the question again?
What is
I
like your go-to food? Like at work,
yeah.
what is it that you like to eat?
Okay, so I like to drink coffee and with toast. Yeah, that's my go-to food here.
Okay, kind of fancy. I don't know. Filipinos, we don't usually do toast. I mean, I guess some people do. The closest I do is just have the pandesal.
Yeah,
Just I want it
I just
extra toasty.
yeah I really like bread paired with coffee. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's the perfect combination, like bread and coffee. What's your favorite toppings on bread or palaman in bread?
I just usually pair it with butter or sometimes if there's peanut butter here.
Oh, okay. So anything with butter. Peanut butter, butter in general. Yeah, I like it more creamy. That's also good to keep you awake in the late nights. Most people in the VA industry work, especially if your client is from the US. So that being said, I don't know. You seem to have this kind of you seem kind of experienced in terms of working late. I don't know. You just have that vibe whenever when we just first talked. So can you tell us some background about yourself? Maybe before you went in as a VA.
Okay, so before joining Sphere Rocket, I actually worked as a freelance editor for around 4 years right now. I've been starting since I was going in college. So while studying in college, I actually do sideline editing, not just for like students who want to what do you call it, hire someone to do their videos, but also to other companies that want to hire video editors. So that's my sideline, as well as I lead an organization in my school known as the Directors Guild, which is a multimedia themed organization.
Okay, then your video edits must have been really awesome if you're the leader of a department that's like dedicated to doing the media and stuff. And that's also cool that you're already working part-time, I mean freelance, while you're still studying. And um you know I can only imagine how good you are now, because now you're officially working professionally. Because last time I would understand if you're just doing projects for schools, but you're actually doing video edits for companies, so their standards are really high compared to just passing a school project. So
Yeah.
um was that like your only job? You never dived into full-time work prior to becoming a VA? You're just doing some freelancer work for most of the
Um,
time.
Maybe I guess in terms of other work I did during the quarantine, me and my sister did some baking. We actually baked some baked goods like cakes and other pastries. That's what we did in quarantine just to help with the finances with our yeah and buy things that we needed.
Okay, I mean that's business, and you know, it's a bit. I don't know. Do you like baking? It's a bit. I would say far off from video editing, but I guess if your sister need any marketing tools like to promote the cakes, you'll be a huge help for that. So that's
Yeah.
something you can do. And yeah, since you were helping out, and it's during the pandemic time, that's definitely the time where VAs, remote work start to boom in as well. So that time you weren't. Was it also the same time that you started work as an actual VA, not just a freelancer, or was it like later on?
It was actually before I started working as VA. We There was a bit of a timeline in between stopping baking as well as VA, which is like around the graduation time. So I had to stop and then continued VA. I started VA after graduation.
Okay, so I guess you never had much of an experience in terms of working in the office. Like all of the work that you've done is something that you've done within the premises of your home, or do you actually need to go somewhere to edit your videos? I don't know.
No, I actually just stayed at home because I have a laptop that I can use to edit. So that was the only equipment I needed back then. Right now, I recently just bought like a PC just to help edit the videos that my client wants me to do.
You're probably the first guy that I've interviewed here that has never experienced like office work. So now that your entire professional career is just lined into just work from home, did you ever think that sometimes like, maybe I would try working in an office setup just for experience, or like, nah, it's not worth it. Being at home is the best.
There are times where I actually wondered what it would feel like to work in an office, but maybe it's just the comfort of the home is better for me because I prefer not to go outside than to socialize.
Yeah, avoid the
Yeah,
traffic, not just to socialize. We wanted to save money as well, and
yeah.
yes,
Actually, yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
yes. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced as a student traveling to your school every day. The situation that we have, the traffic and stuff like that. I think that's one of the major concerns. And yeah, I mean, once I went into remote work, I'm like, okay, I don't think I'll ever wanted to go back into the office because I don't want to waste like 2 to 3 hours of my time every day just sitting down and traveling. It's too much hassle. But yeah, that's why I salute people who travel like 2 hours one way to just go to their offices. And I guess we are blessed to have this kind
Yeah.
of opportunity that we can do our jobs in the comfort of our home. So as a VA, I mean, you were a freelancer, then switch over to being a VA. What was the reason? I mean, why did you stop like being fully freelance to stop to be what do you call this? To be a full-time VA? Is it more of the stable kind of income or anything else?
I guess part of the reason why I wanted to go into a VA work is because of the stability of the income. Because there is the consistent income compared to when you're freelance, you just wait, you just either wait or apply, and there is not even any guarantee that you'll even get the job in the first place if you just try to apply to different projects. And then maybe the other factor is, why I wanted to transfer is that the the pay in general as in comparison to the course that I actually um, enrolled in is better in general. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your course? Your degree?
So my course is medical laboratory science.
What? Okay, no way.
Medtech,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought you were gonna say like multimedia or
uh,
graphic design. Okay,
no, I just work as a video editor in the sidelines, like doing it on my free time. That's what I did to like release my stress.
that is really impressive. Like I was thinking that you were maybe IT or anything close to. So you never really took a job that's like related to your course. You just went in for the video editing.
The closest work that I actually did was the internship, but other than that, there's no other work that I did.
Yeah, I mean,
On my free time.
internship is just a requirement. But at least you were able to finish it. As yeah, as medtech, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that was it. And I think that's also cool that what's also cool about being a VA is that they don't necessarily look in your educational background or experiences to be hired for the position that you wanted. I mean, sure, it will help that you had big freelance video editing skills, but I think in the norm that we have in the corporate world in the Philippines specifically, they would look in what your course is. Must be a graduate of BS something something, yeah, and you must have 2 years
Correct.
experience in this that. And as I've mentioned in other podcasts here in the VA, it's a much more relaxed requirement, but also competitive as well. So yeah, you need to do your best to make sure that your client will be impressed enough that he or she will take you. And I guess Aaron is one of the better or best example that it doesn't matter what you finish if somehow you have the skills to do it, and more importantly, I guess it's the attitude that you need to show that you actually wanted to do what you want. Like the passion is one of the main things that your potential client will look for you. So when did you discover that, or that you're doing medtech, but you really wanted to do video editing? Was it like before or during the time that you were already studying?
It was actually during the time when I was studying medical laboratory science.
Okay, I guess you're kind of cutting off, but yeah, for everyone that is still listening, just to give you a background, Aaron was a video editor, but by educational background, he is actually a medtech graduate. So yeah, I think that's the thing that that's some background about him. But what's cool about Aaron is that in the background of doing medtech stuff, he was doing some video editing, and not just for his fellow students. He was actually doing it for like actual companies that would pay him. So yeah, I guess we're gonna wait for him for a few seconds and start again. Okay, so yeah, going back to the question, yeah, when did you realize that at the side of doing medtech, studying medtech, you just decided that you wanted to pursue video editing? When did that exactly happen? Like at the earlier start of your studies, or maybe before you even started the studies?
So actually, I actually realized that I have a love for video editing during my studies in college, because when I was joining the organization that I led, the Directors Guild, I had the sense of satisfaction making videos, and it kind of stems from the fact that back then I was kind of a theater kid. I like to perform and to do make content, or like sing and do all those things like musicals. So maybe that's one of the reasons where like I realized that, like, yeah, video editing's for me.
Okay, so you also sing, you do performance and stuff like that, Aaron.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To put
Oh,
it
that's some.
to put it
That is
lightly.
something.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we can look up some videos if Aaron is posting
I
some
know.
videos. Okay. No worries.
The-
No worries. We're not gonna dive that deep. Let's focus on your VA journey first. But since you've had that in your mind, so did you have any thoughts that, oh, maybe I could shift course that is more relevant to what I'm interested in? Did you have any those thoughts? What was the reason why you still pursued, even though you've discovered your passion for another thing?
I guess maybe the reason why I still continue to do medtech is maybe for as a safety net. Just in case like this thing doesn't work out, or like there are other, like any other emergencies or other happenings in the future that might hinder me from making video editings. So it's basically like this course is my safety net, so I can actually, if I stop video editing, I can still apply to the medical field, or even just like go to medicine.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's totally understandable given how competitive the scene of video editing is. And, maybe, hopefully not, what your skill might not be relevant. And it's good to have that safety net with that. And yeah, you were also freelancing. So it's like, maybe some days you will not have something and maybe you need something, at least, that you are registered, you had a degree in as a med tech. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
stable job to do. But given that you're still a video editor, that means that business has been really good and you're actually a full-time VA now. So congratulations that you were able to pursue your passion in video editing. So, in terms of all the works that you've done as a video editor, what's like that kind of what kind of work do you enjoy doing as a video editor? Is it more on the commercial side of things, doing what kind of yeah, because video editing has a lot of niches, lots of parts,
Yeah.
but which specific is the things that you actually love to do?
I actually love to do music videos, because I've done, me and a couple of my co people in organization have made some music videos of in the school, which is one of the most fun experiences that we've actually had, like recording people and just looking for different shots and making sure that the video is like to everyone's taste. Yeah, so that's like the thing that I really enjoyed the most, making music videos.
Yeah, and you told as well the performance arts is kind of like something you enjoy doing, like the singing and the
Yeah,
theatrics, basically.
yeah,
So yeah, it's somehow it's more fun to do. I'm not surprised that that is the thing in video editing that you enjoy to do. So is it somehow related to what you're doing now as a video editor for Jeff Cohen, or is it in a totally
Up,
different playing field?
it's actually in a different field because I usually do apartment tours, which is I've actually done in school, but it's really different from music videos where you just follow the music. There's actually different things to apartment tours that you have that are edited differently than music videos.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no video editor, but I've interviewed some video editors, and I thought video editor, okay, just do everything that's related to video. But now that I've talked to video editors, there's actually a lot different, like for advertisements and for music videos. Maybe they needed something like that. Each to their own specialties. And in terms, I think you were doing more of like the advertising side of things in terms of music video for real estate and stuff. So was that like a challenge for you to transition to that, comparing to you also mentioned that you've done that before, but doing it as a full time though, like was that somehow a challenge of a transition for you compared to doing stuff before as a freelancer?
Actually, it is kind of a challenge because my boss lets me handle what how I edit the video. So I have to think of a way to edit it creatively and how people can actually take interest in the video that I'm presenting to them. So that's actually one of the bigger challenges that I have to face in terms of video editing for advertisement because there are some times where people won't even take a second look at the video if they don't find it interesting. So you have to find a lot of ways to make sure that the editing is eye catching to them.
I see. Yeah. I mean, I guess the first part should be already the hook. Otherwise, no matter how good like the things that you got in the middle and the end, they wouldn't just take a second look. I guess that's something about the clients, the foreigner clients that we handle specifically in the United States. They're really keen on what they want. Like they're really strict, especially in the real estate. Everything needs to be like picture perfect and all of it. But yeah, I mean that's the bare minimum that they need to achieve. But because as we talk about the competitive scene and the video editing, so are the real estate. There's like hundreds or maybe thousands of real estate agents all over the United States. So they needed to do something that will make them stand out. So that being said, how is it like working within the real estate business? I'm not sure if it's the same industry that you worked before as a freelancer. How's like the environment and that the working environment in terms of the real estate?
I would say in terms of the side of video editing and other creative content that my boss makes me do, I guess the environment of the workplace of Mr. Jeff Cohen is actually pretty um, would you would say chill or like very healthy just because he would also take into consideration um, the amount of work and also like how long you would take, so he would not really require me to rush work as long as the work is complete and it's there and it's in good detail. So that's one of the really good qualities that the environment has given me.
Yeah, straight to the point. No, no sugarcoating. As long as you finish his task, there's no problem with you. You're free to do whatever you wanted. And oh yeah, I wanted to ask as well, since you've transitioned to be a full-time video editor from being a freelancer. So how did Sphere Rocket actually got you this client, this opportunity? Were you actually looking past on the internet, or did you just happen to came across Sphere Rocket and that opened something like, oh, so I can be a full-time video editor? What was your story?
Okay, so actually, my story was my friend was actually I is working in Sphere Rocket, and then I was posting my resumes everywhere, like in Facebook, in Twitter, and anywhere that people can see, even in LinkedIn. And then my friend happened to come across it in Twitter, and she was like, "Oh, you want to be a video editor? I'm in a business right now that actually needs video editors right now, so." She sent me the link, and then that's it. I applied, and then I got in after a while. Yeah.
After a while. So can you tell me the process and how Sphere Rocket actually got you? Like, you sent your how was Sphere Rocket able to tailor made you to this client?
Okay, so Spherocket actually helped me get this client, which is first is after I sent my application, Spiraket sent me an email regarding an interview process in which they will interview me to see if if there are clients that would actually fit my attitude and my work ethic. After the interview, they sent me a lot of a lot of interviews wherein I had to be interviewed by different clients in America, which is that after that it was just countless of interviews. Like if I would get interviewed by the client along with like 6 to 8 other people, and then the client would see if that editor was a good fit for them. So and then that's when I came across Sir Jeff Cohen, wherein the last part of the interview was he had me go against another video editor, and then we edited a certain video, and then he would pick which of the two editors he would want to hire.
Congratulations. That means that you've won. And yeah, it is really competitive, You're actually coming, like it's like elimination kind of stuff. And I guess yeah, it's really amazing that you were able to get this job. That means that really proved your skills that you were also coming against the video editors. But it's not the end of the line. Just if you're somehow one of those people who weren't chosen, it's maybe it could be like you both made a good video. It's just that the preference of the client has, because Sphere Rocket does not just focus on what your skills are, but basically on how you do your job as well. So yeah, that's also one of the things that Sphere Rocket does.
Yeah, the great thing about Spherocket is even if you don't get hired by the client that you just got the interview, they will still keep sending you other different interviews. So like even if you get rejected, there will still be other interviews until you find the right one that is a good fit for you.
Yeah, and it goes both ways. If you've had a client and due to some unfortunate incident, maybe they are doing some budget cuts or maybe they're already bankrupt. I mean, yeah, if that ever happens to you and you've done a good job, basically nothing bad, Rocket will always help you to get another client. So basically, job security is one of Rocket's strongest points for each of its hired VAs. So yeah, I think that's one of the benefits of having this. And Aaron, in terms of working remotely as well, what would you say are the cons? Because we've been talking about the benefits and also what are the challenges working from home in your field?
I guess one of the cons in terms of working from home is that there is no difference between work and home environment. So where you take your work, you also have your home there. So maybe some other people like still feel stressed even like after laying in bed. That's actually one of the more stressful parts of being a VA, and also maybe the fact that when you're just going to sleep, your parents are already awake, so people all around you are just starting the day while you're just going to sleep. The other the other con about work from home is the unexpectability of like the internet or like electricity, because there are some times where just like me, I've had some times where the internet just like cut off and I had to submit a video, so I have to find a backup plan for my internet just to make sure that I was still online during the work hours that I have.
Yeah, I guess that's why a lot of people say always have a backup. And yeah, that's also stressful as a video editor because you couldn't, it's hard to give an excuse, especially if you have a deadline for the video. You need to make something work. But yeah, I guess internet, yeah, I mean, that's the sad part of not having stability and the power outages, which actually happens to some employees that we have as well. The hard VAs, that's also one of their concerns. I guess the solution is to have like a UPS, an uninterruptible power supply. I mean, it's in the pricier side, but it will work wonders, especially if the power just cut off. At least you will have a backup plan, so you'll still be able to do your job. And I agree as well with what you said, like differentiating which is home and which is a place for work. Like you wake up because your mind, it's like a psychological thing, because
Yeah.
when you went home from school, yeah, back when you're a student, when you're home, it's just a place to relax. But since your mind is kind of programmed that at home as well is where you work, then you might either get too comfortable that you might think that you're not at work anymore because you're at home, or the other side where you might think that your body is still stressed that you're still at work even though you're at home. So it depends. So I guess it might take some time to get used to, especially if when you've been working in the office for such a long time. And Aaron, how are you able to somehow get a solution for that? Like, were you able to find a solution, or is it still something that you're struggling with?
So what I how I separate my work from my house is I usually work outside of my room. I make sure that I have a separate space where I can work, just so that if I'm in this place I can focus on the stress of work, or like if I have to study or do things, I have to do it in a separate location, just to make sure that I don't bring it to my bed and don't have to feel the stress of my work in bed before I sleep.
Okay, that's an amazing tip. I think a lot of people, I mean, like me, when I was starting out, I was doing work at bed. So work and then lie down, sleep like that. And, in the long term, I started to feel like, oh no, this doesn't feel like my home anymore. And yeah, it actually works. Like get yourself a desk or work outside your room. So somehow your brain will be programmed that this is actually the place for you to rest. And yeah, it will work wonders for that. And now we're tackling about tips about surviving work from home and yeah, just doing work from home setups and stuff like that. But I'm sure a lot of people would be curious on what would be the first steps to actually jump into the VA industry, because yeah, this is not as old as the traditional working from office or the kind of job that we have. So Aaron, what would be your advice to any aspiring VAs? What could they do so they would have a shot of becoming a remote worker as well?
Um, I guess the tips that I would go into, does it specifically need to be in video editing or just be in general?
Just anything as long as it might help them potential to be a potential VA worker. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess the tip that I would give to people that want to be successful VAs is know the work that you're gonna go into, because a lot of people will just apply for VA jobs not knowing what it entails, to what the work does, and what is gonna happen if they apply to those work. You need to have at least the general information, or like it's better if you have like you go to workshops. There are actually different workshops online that go into VA or like go into video editing, wherein like they will go into detail how VA should work, how editor should work, which can actually help a lot in attracting companies to your resume. Um, Another thing is that maybe get a bit of experience. For me as a video editor, I actually had to do a lot of soul searching in terms of how to make videos, how to make them into my own content, and how to make sure that the client is satisfied with the work that I give them. You have to make sure that you're not just going into VA blindly. You have to actually have at least a bit of knowledge, or like even just a bit of information on how to do what you want to do and what you need to do. That's it.
Yeah. So you need to be resourceful, basically. Yeah, and not be complacent with the knowledge that you've had. I mean, you always, especially in the industry that we work, it's fast paced. You need to improve as time goes. The
Especially in video
trends.
editing. Yeah, you need to
Yeah, the
like
trends just
really learn.
continuously change. Hmm.
Yeah.
And And I think Aaron, as you've been doing video editing for years now, in general, including the time you were studying, you were able to see how it transitions, like video editing in general. So, in terms of video editing, what do you think is something that video editors needs to focus on in terms of growth and development? Which part of it?
I guess for me, the thing that video editors need to actually look into for improvement is to not be just I to always be constantly looking for different ways to edit videos, not just be stuck in that same location where you just, okay, I know how to edit this video this certain way, so I'm just gonna keep doing it again and again in this same template. You have to know how to improve yourself. Look online, look for different ways to edit videos. If you have the time to learn After Effects, because that's actually a really good really good bonus on your experience. I've actually just learned how I just learned how to do start learning how to do Blender and even like 3D modeling in After Effects. So that's actually a really good thing to learn from. Like you really need to improve your work and not just be complacent in what you know as of the moment.
Yes, not be complacent. That is one, and stay. We call this stay hungry for knowledge. And in a time in the age that we work at, where every you can learn almost anything for free in the internet, take advantage of that. Just yeah, don't just lie
Mhm.
around. And as Aaron has mentioned, do not be contented with what you have. Like not always doing the same thing, just different form, just different background and stuff like that. Because yeah, it might get old for anyone that's looking, especially if you're in the advertisement side of things. People do not like seeing the same thing over and over again with just different colors. Yeah, those sort of stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for your inputs and your advices as well in terms of the BA. We're just gonna play now a short commercial, and after this, we're gonna go to the lightning rounds, which is like fast talk. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. So yeah, let's just play a short commercial break for now.
Ever dreamed of swapping your hectic office for a comfy home workspace? At Sphere Rocket VA, we make that dream a reality. Say goodbye to rush hours and hello to remote work. Enjoy more time with family, more time for yourself, all while building your career. Interested? Apply now at www.spherejobs.ph.
Okay, and we are back at the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network right now, here with Aaron, a video editor for Jeff Cohen. So yeah, thank you so much for your outputs once again for all the tips and tricks and sharing your background and history, as well as not only as a VA but also in your history of video editing. So now, as I mentioned earlier, this is now going to be the fast talk or the lightning round. So Aaron, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, for the first question, day off or bonus pay?
Bonus pay.
No shame, no shame. We're working for money here. Yes. Favorite social media platform?
Um, Instagram.
Instagram. Okay. You know what? The trend that I'm starting to see is that people on the creative or artistic side of things tend to use Instagram over Facebook, even though
Like,
Facebook is the main one in the Philippines. Yes.
actually, there's a lot of things I've learned in terms of video editing in Instagram Reels. So that's why I'm really inspired from time to time when I see Reels in Instagram.
Okay, yeah, it's really helpful to actually learn. Not just, I mean, sometimes the algorithm will give you, just funny videos and you might waste your time, same as TikTok. But yeah, if you're looking the right places, Instagram is actually an educational platform. Just the right tags, the right algorithm. Okay, next, call or text.
Text.
Okay, what is your go-to midnight snack?
Is coffee a midnight snack?
Yeah, I mean your favorite, as you mentioned, coffee and bread, coffee and toast. Yes, with butter. I think that would be
Yes.
your answer to that. Yes, but hot coffee or cold coffee? Which one do you prefer?
I like cold coffee.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
that's something new actually. Okay, and next is, oh yeah, what is your dream country to visit?
Japan.
Japan. I mean, that's manifest. Hopefully, in the near future, Japan is your next destination. What is your top three best purchases since you've started becoming a VA?
Purchases. I guess my PC.
Hmm.
I also bought um peripherals like I bought a new keyboard, and then lastly, one of my best purchases is I guess a vacuum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
invest in home home cleanup and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, a healthy office promotes healthy mind, and yeah, you're working at home, so yeah, that's the best you can do. Okay, and what is one word for you to describe Sphere Rocket? Last question.
um, Probably helpful.
Hmm. In which ways did Sphere Rocket actually became helpful for you?
Um, Spirit became really helpful, not just in terms of VA, but actually helping me improve my skills because Spirocket also does daily Zoom webinars that can actually help improve different factors into your work, not just the video editing part, but also like how to do networking and other factors.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, Spherocket actually promotes these free webinars for people who wanted to be a VA and promotes lots of skills, and it's free, it's just something to train you. Especially, I mean, even though you're already hired, I mean, it doesn't hurt to keep learning in terms
Yeah.
of the webinars and stuff. Take advantage of that. So yeah, thank you so much again for the tips. And Aaron, it's been amazing having you in this episode. And thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much.
giving your time too. Yeah, hopefully you're not feeling too stressed out answering all the questions. And yeah,
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
yeah, it's been
It's
amazing.
been an
So
honor.
yeah, it's been an honor for us as well. And thank you so much for being such an amazing what do you call this, a VA as well for Sri Rocket. I'm hearing good things from Jeff Cohen. And yeah, maybe you have any shout outs you wanted to do as well, maybe for that person who referred you, who was able to, I don't know. Yeah, you can name him. You can name him or her. Yeah, give me a shout out, and
Uh,
also, yeah.
yeah, I guess I'll give a shout out to Carla Juliano, which is one of my classmates in senior high who helped me get this job, and a really huge shout out to my boss, Sir Jeff Cohen. He's a real estate in Sutton Place, that is in New York West, in New York West side, yeah, New York East, sorry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
So
he's a really he does apartments tours, and he also does promote local restaurants in his location. Yeah, so that's
okay,
one of the things
that's
that I actually edited for him.
okay. Maybe we'll see that in some videos sometime. And yeah, hopefully, Jeff Cohen will be watching this as well. And who knows, maybe Jeff Cohen might be the next one that we're going to be interviewing in the podcast series. And let's see what Jeff Cohen is going to say about Aaron. Let's see. Nah, I'm kidding. No pressure involved. But yeah, he seems to be a fun guy based on how you're working, like how happy you are. You seem at work. You don't have an ounce or strain of stress in you. That's from what I can see, and I'm loving your hair as well.
Thank you. That's just the camera. You don't see the eye bags right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, good lighting. Maybe it's the lighting. I don't know. But you seem to be having a healthy work environment. So that is it for today's episode, everyone. Hopefully you enjoy and learned a lot from this episode, and we will see you again in the next episode. See you, everyone, and good night, good morning, goodbye.
Do you want to apply as a Sphere Rocket virtual assistant? Well, look no further because this video is for you. I will be telling you which requirements you will need to submit in order to apply to our new website, plus a few tips and tricks to help you with your initial interview. We have achieved a better way for you to send in your application, so let's begin. Step 1. Visit our website
at www.spherejobs.ph.
Step 2. Fill in the application by inputting your full name, email, number, and other questions that you will need to answer in order to move on to the next step. Step number 3, send screenshots of your updated CV, Tony Robbins PDF result, internet speed screenshot with a minimum of 10 Mbps, a scanned copy of your government ID, and your portfolio with sample works. Step 4, click the submit button and wait patiently for our email. Now here are some tips on how to stand out during your initial interview. Tip number 1, dress up as if you were going to an in-person interview. Wearing something formal will give the interviewer a sign that you are serious about applying to this job role. Tip number 2, find a quiet space where your interview will be held. There's nothing worse than getting distracted by the noise around you and not being able to understand what the interviewer is saying. Tip number 3, be yourself and show up as confidently as you can. Know what you bring to the table and honor your worth. Interested in becoming a part of our team? Submit your application now
At www.spherejobs.ph.
Good luck!